And then black people will get mad about cultural appropriation. What do you want? What more do you want? What do you want? Like, let's sit down, what's it, Florida? They're taking black history out of schools.
Yeah. I think we mentioned that a little bit in one of our previous episodes.
Yeah, infuriated, right?
That it's taken out.
They're like, they're taking it out of schools. And I don't agree with the notion that black history shouldn't be taught. I agree, it should be taught. You ever heard the fucking villain arc? I was like, I feel like these villain arcs make way more sense now.
Oh, of course.
But like the builder, because you start saying things, you be like, holy shit, like, is this how the fucking Black Panther started? But everyone for quite some time. Yeah. When I say quite some time, I mean, we're talking decades with a strong capitalist.
I know where you're going with
say that black history isn't taught correctly. And why do we keep relying on someone that's openly saying, hey, I can't teach this right, I'ma just stop. Like, why are we relying on a school system that is at this point admitting it can't do it right?
Yeah.
When we actually have this quirky thing called museums, libraries,
Google.
We can share information. We can create, I don't know, black history museums in each city so that now these demographics can go learn about their history instead of trying to ask a teacher who probably didn't specialize in this fucking section about something that they probably don't know about.
Yeah.
I'm like, it actually doesn't make that, it's not that bad of an idea to defund it. But now we get back to that whole police. Okay, now where's this money going? Like, you taking it out, you saying you don't, what are we doing in replacement?
Nothing. There is no answer. Nobody actually gives a solution.
Because we get to that part and then everyone's so worried about being mad that we're not solution oriented. We're not thinking anything about that end goal.
Yeah, like the anger is misplaced. Like, or that's not the right way to put it.
It's in the right place.
The anger isn't being utilized to make a solution for what you're suggesting as the solution to the problem. So back with the Black history, because not being taught in schools in Florida, I mentioned in our previous episode, I was thinking like, well, why don't we just take it in our own hands and just do that? And you don't, like, even like the Boondocks had a very comical but very straightforward way. This was like within the first 3 seasons. And there was a white professor going, yeah, Harambe.
Harambe! 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 Harambe!
Remember that. Harambe!
Here we were sitting there like, what? What are we doing right now?
And then black people will get mad about cultural appropriation. What do you want? What more do you want? What do you want? Like,
this is a golden opportunity for like, all right, we about to go up in there and then teach it ourselves.
Perfect opportunity. Just imagine if we had, I don't know, organizations for this, but we don't, because you're so mad and we're so consumed by the idea that the school has to do this. The school has money for outside groups to come in and let's just go out on a limb and say not every county. I'm pretty sure, let's say 75% of school districts can afford for outside educational groups to come in and teach the students, at least on a state level.
Yeah.
Like, you can go school to school. Don't let February be your popping month, you know what I mean? Like, we can make shit work, but you so worried about being mad, you ain't coming up with the answers.
It's like you want, a lot of people want other people to do it for them, but do it the way that they want them to do it. And even when they do it, it's like, well, you didn't do it the way I want you to. It might be that Kevin Hart joke. Like, I told him to go to see people and
Like, I want you to do what I say, but I want you to do it how I pictured you doing it. Don't do it the way you want to do it. Do it the way I saw you do it when I told you to do it.
So, but you can't win. And another one to add on top of that Boondocks episode is Atlanta. When Donald Glover came in, well, his character, I forgot his character's name now.
Nah, see, you gonna put me on the spot. I forgot now.
Well, whatever. If we remember.
It's like an SAT question now. You know it until the test starts.
Donald Glover's character, him and his girl walked into like this very expensive mansion for some party or whatever. And the host of it, this white guy, and then he goes like, hey, have you been to Africa before? And I was like, no, I've never been there before. He's like, well, you gotta go. It's your people. He's like, I have no blood relations there. If I do, I don't know about it. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. This is what I know. Oh, come on, you gotta go. And like, so it's the same difference. Like, you have a golden opportunity. Shoot, we had these opportunities for years at this point.
I don't want to say we haven't been taking it, so that's also something that we need to acknowledge more. All of these groups groups that we like to talk about. I mean, in a lot of ways, this is what they were doing, and they do take it and go far left in some instances. But a lot of their initiatives do start because they just saw problems in the Black community and were like, look, actually, I don't even want to say that they go far left because I don't know the truth because we only get the piece of information we get from school. We need community centers that are funded by, for us, by us, to figure out what our history's actually been in the country like. There's been a lot of things that have happened in a lot of different places. America's huge, and we have a lot of history, a lot. Like, most people don't consider this. The size of our states is the size of most other countries.
I mean, I've been preached for the best. They were talking about it from a Canadian perspective. The United States is like countries inside of a country.
We have a whole, and what we think of as like state issues, we're just like, oh, they'll figure it out. Yeah, that's just Texas. But Texas, low key, is the size of Europe.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing. Like the whole fucking, like every state in Europe, I gotta show you every state. I'm calling them states.
Yeah.
Those are countries, bro.
Yeah.
Those are countries.
Every state has its own, you are right about that, like a rich history of stuff that has went on per state, good and bad.
And we don't talk about none of it. Like, there has been all sorts of, like, when I say like something big, Black history-wise, has probably happened in every major city. I mean something so monumental that when you find out, you're gonna look at your textbook and go, get what we call the flying fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Like, Cincinnati was burned down. Philly had bombs dropped in it. Washington, D.C. was burned down.
Central Park
was a whole community.
That blew my mind.
OKC and the Tulsa massacre. Like, you could go state by state by state, and there's usually something significant that we just don't talk about. So it's like, maybe if we had our own, we could figure it out.
I'm trying to think of that other one that was portrayed in Atlanta in season 4, but it was actually a true story where there was a Black city that was submerged in water, killed all of them.
Oh, that's it's more than one. But the most famous one, it's a lake, because the whole town is down there still.
Yes.
I can't remember the name of it, but when I get it, it's like an Indian name lake too. That's the wild part.
I'm trying to find it right now. But these are talking about the other ones. Georgia,
I mean, the fact that we don't talk about Central Park enough. Is kind of mind, but for as popular as it is. So I mean,
all we talk about is Tulsa, Oklahoma. The other ones, to Hefe's point, is like, yo, we've been jacked up for a long time, but it's been hidden. Going back to the rule you said earlier, it's been hidden, and we don't talk about it.
I don't even want to say that it's been hidden. It's just
not talked about.
It's not talked about.
Yeah.
That's it. So the more I've grown, the more I've had to be mature in the idea of when you meet a random white person, they're not lying. They don't know what their great grandfathers. They really don't know.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just ignorant people amongst ignorant people trying to find the truth, real answers, and balance out what life has put on the table. But the more you dive into it, the more you realize, like, dang, I need to just be a little more understanding, spread a little more information. Because when you tell them, like, no, like, just go look it up. I know everybody say that, go look it up. Like, I mean, like, no.
But it's like there's no.
Just tell them, like, here's the article. Like, you can find it on such-and-such.org. They got this posted on such-and-such.gov. You can get more information on it. Like, actually provide the sources and give them the opportunity to read into it and show them, like, nah, this isn't just me capping.
And give a way for it to be digested, such as this.
Not just that, and then offer us, and then here's the real fuck. Offer a solution. Offer a solution. Offer a solution. Don't think that complaining. Offer a real world, feasible, economically obtained solution so that we can actually move forward. The reason why every other group gets shit done is because when they say something, they ask for a solution and it gets done. Ask for a solution.
Even Dr. Eric Thomas put it best like that. In his recent mixtape he has on Spotify. I forgot the name. I think it's called. I forgot the name of it. But I'll bring it up in the description. The name of that album I mentioned, it was The Prescription. Eric Thomas. He said in it, like, look, when you have an idea or you want to solve a problem, when you say it out your mouth, I want you to write down everything it's gonna take to get to actually bring it to fruition. If you're not gonna do that, then I don't want to hear it.
I don't care.
I was like, that's actually a good point.
Because you know the real part is once you do that, now it's obtainable. Now you can do it. Now we've seen step by step every measure that needs to happen and come up with a feasible solution. The only excuse is laziness. We can work with that. The only reason we ain't getting things done is because you're lazy. I can work with that. Because we're gonna fix that real quick.
With the laziness part?
Yeah, but that's why you have to come with a solution.